Don't be a YouTuber. Or do, I'm not your father, but here's what no one tells you. There are 115 million active YouTube channels that post at least one video per month. Almost 90% of those videos will never even hit 1,000 views. And of those channels, only 3 to 6% are actually monetized. If you're crazy enough to stick around, I'll tell you the truth that no one tells you and how to survive. So let's get real. Creating content when you see it on YouTube looks awesome. It looks amazing because you see all these creators and they're free, they got all this money, they got all this time, they're just making content because they're passionate about it, they love it, and they want to just communicate with you guys and share whatever it is that they want to do. What you don't see are the hours and hours that these creators are pouring in, and sometimes they don't even get anything back. Have you ever spent 20 hours scripting a video, you record it, and then you edit it and you think it's the best thing that you've ever made, and when you post it, you check the next day and you've got 4 views. And of those 4 views, you find out later that your mom actually was one of those views. That's where it really fucking hurts. On top of that, you know exactly what it's like when you pick a video. There's one that has 9 views and one that has, say, 3,000 views. Which one are you gonna watch? The 9 view one, it just doesn't have any social proof. There's no real reason why you trust it. The video with 3,000 views could even have a crappier title, a crappier thumbnail, but you're still gonna do it because there's social proof behind it. And sadly, we continue the cycle because that video could be our video and it'll never get the same watch time as this other one. On top of that, when creating content is what you do, it actually looks pretty boring from the outside because you just script a video, then you record it, and you spend a time editing. It actually gets pretty lonely. You say no to going to cool events or doing cool things because this is a thing that you have to do to make YouTube work. Right now, it's the weekend, and I'm sitting here on a nice Saturday morning. The sun's up, it's a beautiful day, and I'm sitting in my dark room with this light, and I'm recording this video. I'm then going to bring it over to my editing software, and I'm going to be sitting in front of the computer for even more time. Meanwhile, that sun is so beautifully high, it's going to be setting when I'm finished this video. So let's talk about some of the challenges that you face when you have a YouTube channel. The very first thing that new YouTube creators have to deal with is the fact that you either have no money, or you have no gear, or you don't have either of those. If you've seen some of my other videos, you'll know that thankfully everyone has a phone and you can record videos perfectly without any additional gear. The phones that we have now can record crisp video, they have decent sound, and you can even do the editing and publishing right off your phone. One of the easy wins in this area is to work around windows that have good lighting, and eventually you just buy yourself a mic once you have a bit of money. For those of you who do have a bit more money, I would highly recommend, I just gotta wait for this, I live near an airport. I would highly recommend the Sony ZV-E10. This is an amazing camera. It's highly recommended by YouTubers. If you buy it secondhand, it's even cheaper. By the way, if you like this kind of content, make sure you like and subscribe. YouTube is going to send you more videos just like this. Now, the next challenge that we all face is analysis paralysis or perfectionism. Both are just mental blocks that stop you from taking action and a real killer for your YouTube channel. When I first started, I wanted my videos to be perfect. I wanted the nice lighting, I wanted the nice video. And the truth is, none of that mattered because I saw some videos that had a lot less going on, but they got way more views, and that's because they just took action. If you look back at some of Alex Hormozi's old videos, he recorded in a closet, he recorded off his phone. It was pretty crappy video, but because he had so much value, it didn't matter what his videos looked like. It was just about the content and what he talked about. On this channel, I talk about content around business, and the most important thing in this niche is to really focus on the value, because the people who watch these kind of videos don't really care about the aesthetics. They just care about what you're actually saying. What is the value that you're giving to your audience? So for this step, I mean, you do actually have to provide value, but so long as you can, it doesn't matter about the execution. Whether you got the nice lighting, the nice camera, what matters most is the message that you give to your audience. So now you've overcome 2 huge obstacles, the gear and trying to get everything perfect before you start. The next thing that's going to catch you is the burnout. Once you start creating content consistently, you realize how much work is actually involved. Script writing takes ages. If you want to create good content, you need good scripts, and to create good scripts, you need good input. That means researching, watching other videos, understanding what the market actually wants and how you can fulfill that need. That's just the scripting part. Then you actually have to record, which is a process in itself. And then one of the most time-consuming parts is the editing. Now, I did talk about this in a different video where I mentioned the new authentic style that's coming out. a lot less editing, but in general, you have a lot of editing to do. It does take time and it does take energy. That's why it's really important to manage your schedule, set up times when you're going to script, edit, and record, and you try to batch the content. If you're anything like me, you have to have a schedule because I've got a lot of things going on. I work, plus I got 2 kids, plus I got a house to manage, and then on top of that throw in content, and there's quite a lot to do. This is why it's really important to have a plan, and if you have a partner, you really have to work together to make things work. Obstacle number 4 is one of the easier ones to deal with because at this stage you've dealt with most of the big challenges, and it also ties in with burnout, and that is consistency. Consistency is king. One of the most challenging things about improving at a skill is to be consistent. That's the only way that you truly do improve over time. On YouTube, on this platform, when everyone first starts, they generally do suck at recording videos, so it's about recording and continuing to pump out content so you're constantly improving your skills. The thing about creating content is it's really just a skill that you have to build. Everyone has to start somewhere. Some people get really lucky, but generally people have to start off and they kind of suck. There was a really good study where they compared quality and quantity against each other. There was this art class and they were going to be assessed on a photograph that they took. Now they split the class in two. One side focused on quantity and the other side focused on quality. The side with the quantity would take as many photos as they could, and once it came to the assessment period, they just had to pick one of those photos as their best photo to submit. The other half of the class could only take one photo, so they had to meticulously plan out exactly how that shot would look, and then take it and hope to God that that shot was going to be good. And you know what the results were? Because the side that took heaps of photos didn't care about the quality, they were just focused on getting as many photos as they could, they actually started to understand how to take a photo properly. Because they'd failed so many times at taking different photos, they'd had more turns at bat and were able to just pick the best photo that they had overall. Even though that photo may not have been as good as they wanted it to be, that photo is almost guaranteed to be better than the side who focused on quality, because they only had one shot, and if they messed up that shot, well, it was all over. Even though these guys tried to get the best photo, the result here is always going to be better than the guys who focused on the quality. Even though the shot from these guys might not have been the greatest, it was going to be better than this side over here with the quality, because they only had one shot to really make it count. They could have easily staged the best lighting, the best angle, and still gotten it wrong, and because they didn't get to try out a whole bunch of different shots, then these guys with the quantity were always going to win. Kobe Bryant wasn't the greatest because he was athletically gifted. He was great because of those gifts, but he put in more hours than everyone else, and that's why he was as good as he was. Keep in mind, this does change once you've done the quantity, but most people when they're starting out haven't done the hours and the quantity to learn what works and makes a video great, so that's where these hours need to come in, and you do actually need to pay down, as Alex calls it, your ignorance debt. The other thing you got to remember is the more videos you post, the more chances you have at bat, and the more likely it is to hit a home run. It's just a numbers game. So we've talked a lot about challenges, we've talked about statistics, so why would anyone actually put themselves up to this challenge? It sounds like you're not going to win. The thing is, people who create content are a little crazy. We are just a different breed. If you're anything like me, you're probably a little too obsessed with this stuff. When all your friends are going out and they're having fun, you've actually chosen to sit yourself down in front of your computer and either record or edit your video. But if you're also like me, you have a joy and you have a passion, and that's why you put yourself through this. Plus, at the end of the day, we're finding our community and creating it online because we can't find it in real life. I've mentioned this before, but in real life, my close friends don't create content. They're not even interested in creating content. They just consume it. Whereas I really enjoy creating. I really enjoy meeting people, talking to people who are in the same space, and I just find those people online versus in real life. I like the idea that we can talk about this stuff, and I have people who are actually interested to hear it, and I like that we're on the same wavelength because we all vibe with this kind of content. If you're still here, that means you got more grit than most people, because as we start talking about those obstacles, people start to check out. Comment down below some of the biggest challenges that you've faced as a content creator, and remember, don't just be a YouTuber, be a YouTuber who makes it.